Yes, folks, you heard it right. $10,000 Tabernacle of Rudy Bale. It's really the whole video. You guys can go ahead and leave now. I mean, I'll sell you some for $9,999, but anyway, I want to talk about the reserve list. A little discussion here. We haven't talked about it in the last week and a half. Thought we should do a little reserve list follow-up video today, especially with the additional easy attempts at manipulating these MTG stock type websites. Obviously, Tabernacle and Mishra's Workshop and bazaars and libraries are not $10,000 a piece, obviously. But at the same time, I know you can laugh at me, call me market manipulator, tinfoil hat, sloppy taco, whatever you want, but you and I both know eventually the day will come when these things probably will be $5,000, $10,000 a card, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I wouldn't be putting money into it waiting for that, because to get to those price levels, you could be talking 5, 10, 20 years, if it ever actually makes it there. I think eventually it will, but we're talking so far away. It's not like you can just make quick, easy money. I just don't think it works that way. But overall, since you can obviously easily kind of manipulate these websites and get people all wound up and up in arms and pitchforks out, get on that reserve list, rawr, bandwagon, the typical thing. But overall, I just want to tell you what I see. I continue to see a lot of money flowing to the reserve list across the board. Supply of reserve list cards everywhere is extremely low as far as it's actually on the open market with big stores, websites, and of course eBay and TCG Player. If you don't believe me, just go on eBay and type in, Tabernacle, Mishra's Workshop, hit Bazaar Baghdad. Go on eBay, hit buy it now, look how many are for sale. Do the Library of Alexandria. Do, with any of these big kind of tier 1 heavy hitting reserve list cards that we've all known for years are just kind of like, they are the cornerstone. These are the benchmark cards. And of course, every time the market has a leg up, everybody gets very angry. The reserve list conversation comes, boils back to the top. Everybody gets aggressive about it. And we kind of rinse and repeat. And I think as we go into the end of the year here, I think the kind of reserve list boom will cool off again, and we'll probably find our settling, maybe some retracement in prices of 10 to 30%. Obviously, never back to the previous low. But I think right now we're kind of in that purgatory period. I feel like as a whole, the market is waiting to see what happens with Wizards in 2021. That's what I've been telling a lot of people, because we're in this very strange evolutionary transition period right now with the amount of product Wizards is doing, their ability to keep up with the product, am I right? And simply where things are going to settle out next year. I do think with the tremendous amount of secret layers in the works and a lot of crossovers with all these different things coming, I think you're going to continue to see more backlash and very loud voices on the internet. But, the thing I've been following, like I kind of mentioned before, is I am noticing an actual decline in the quantity of standard box sales between myself and, of course, other stores that I kind of poke and send some messages and say, hey, how you guys doing selling the new Zendikar just drafts booster boxes for, what do you guys sell them for at your local store? $99, $99.99 for a draft box for any standard set, plus tax. So like 107, 108 out the door. And then other stores have confirmed that, yeah, we've noticed a very finite, definitive slowdown in the quantity of people who even walk into the store. Now, I know there's no actual play or anything, or curbside or whatever it is. There's actually a very distinctive reduction in just the quantity of people buying the sealed boxes. Is this temporary? Most likely it's short term. I think when we hit towards the end of the year here, I have a funny feeling that Commander Legends is probably going to have a nice kind of hype train flare up. But I said the same thing with Zendikar, and I was really wrong. I thought for sure the Zendikar hype train. I mean, when we heard about a return to Zendikar, did I get the right number of returns? Am I short a return? How many returns do we have? 3? 4? When I was like, how many Zendikar? Anyways, when I heard about that, I really thought that hype was really going to continue for a while. I thought it was going to be a pretty strong push forward, and it just didn't happen. It died out really quick. The momentum just didn't push forward. It really did just stall or flatline, or I don't know. It just, and a lot of people are pointing to the expected value and the erosion of the secondary market on why, and a lot of people are saying what I kind of mimicked. The fact that stores aren't doing mass box opening, you reduce the quantity of actual draft boxes that are being cracked and put into the market. It's simply just not happening. It's dropping the quantity, which is dropping how many boxes stores and distributors are using. So back to the reserve list, as long as these things continue to push forward, I really do think that the reserve list it's the place to be. But at the same time, I'm telling you all, don't underestimate the sealed product though. Even on new stuff. Seriously, don't underestimate on new stuff, everyone, that it's not dead. And I kind of may come off a little bearish at times on that, because the $10,000 Tabernacle example, yes, it shows, what we learn when we see headlines like that is we can see the direction of money flowing. That's really what you can take away from it. That's probably the most important thing to understand, is that when we see all these reserve list cards hitting, and when you see price spikes, all I see is money hitting the card. People throwing money at it. They're just chucking money at it and pushing it. But at the same time, I'm seeing very similar growth still in sealed product. Not the brand new stuff. Pre-War of the Spark, I'm still seeing demand, sold listings. The prices have not dropped. In Bronze Era, which is War of the Spark back to RTR, that 2012 to 2019, all those products are holding their own. Some are still ticking up, some are flatline. I'm not seeing any just dumping bear market in that stuff. It's still holding its own. The brand new crossover things that we're seeing now with all these variants, it's too new. We don't know what's going to happen with it. But the reserve list as a whole, ever since these big stores turned their buy list back on, we had Star Cities, Card Kingdoms, Channel Snowballs. Actually, I guess in general, most of them. We've had all these stores kind of try to rebuild some inventory in these old cards. And I've told you guys earlier in the year about this. I was mentioning that I still believe one of the reasons we saw this rubber band hard hit on reserve list cards is because all these stores flushed out the inventory. Because think about it. Let me take you guys a little way back machine here. In March and April of 2020, we were in 18 months, almost 2 years, of reserve list cards having no returns, being dead money, and actually having a bear market actually declining up to 30, 40%, some 50% from the highs. Okay? So think about it. If you're in charge of a big store with employees and everything, you got the virus, you got a worldwide disaster, pandemic shutdown, you've got old cards that have gone nowhere but down or flat for 2 years, and you're getting ready to go off this cliff, you would have probably made the same decision if you were in the situation with overhead and employees. So that's what a lot of stores did. They dumped all the old cards. It happened. I saw it. Sales everywhere. They got flushed out because nobody knew what was going to happen. All they knew was 2 years of bad returns, and now we're getting ready to get worse. Based on the decisions and data at that point in time, those store owners made the right decision. It is what it is. I know that's kind of weird to say, because now we're going into the end of the year in 2020, and it's like we're talking about a whole different universe, because people are fighting over these things. Look at the bids and it's crazy. But that's how quick things change. Just like trying to time Wall Street and equities or the debt markets. You cannot time the market. That's why it's important. Just like, that cheesy stuff. I always tell everyone, chip away. Don't be the hero. Don't run in, all cool and think you're hot stuff. You're the first one to get taken out in a horror movie. Slow and steady. Every week, every month, buy a little reserve list card. Add to your positions. Enjoy collecting and investing. And enjoy the hobby. And keep chipping away at it. And as the months and the years go by, all of a sudden you go, holy crap, I've been doing this for a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And all of a sudden, you're accumulating these massive collections, and the prices have skyrocketed as the years go by. That's the key to this. And for the people who did stay the course in March, April, May, June, July, August, September of 22, or I guess towards the end of August when it stopped. People there are people out there who sent me pictures, made a fortune. And here we are. I think the reserve list thing is going to continue to do well. I know eventually it's going to cool off. We'll have our retracement, but that could be next month. It could be in a year from now. We don't know. And the biggest thing is I can't time the market. You guys can't time the market. And that's why it continues to be really important to stay the course. And, even I've been very bearish and negative on this new stuff, which, I think I need to kind of cool off myself and stop being negative, because it's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seems. And even I need to refocus on some of this new stuff, because it's probably still going to age well, and I'm afraid of screwing that up with bad decisions. And I've done that in the past. Looking at you, Eighth of Revolt and New Phyrexia.